Yo, what is up, everybody? Pope here, bring guys a new video, and today we're going to be talking about megas in the new game. I know there's been some leaks. I do not trust the leaks, neither should you, and I'm just going to go over what I think. I did some stat distributions. I did leave out 10 points from the stat distributions just to give a little bit more range of things that could be changed, and we'll talk about that a little bit, where it could go maybe, or something like that. I also gave them abilities. Some of them might be a little broken, but we're just having fun with this. This is a little bit different than the list I did before, where I did like a top 10 list of Pokemon I want to see with Mega Evolutions. Now that we have a lot more information and we've seen some of the Pokemon that are going to be in the game, I kind of went through and started picking some ones that I thought was interesting, and yeah, ones that I would like to see and might have some interesting abilities or usefulness and stuff like that. So, yeah, let's get into the list here. Number 5 is we got Slowking. Of course, you know, Slowbro already has a Mega Evolution with Shell Armor, so I wanted to do something that's more offensive maybe rather than defensive, and that's where I came up with this. So it's going to stay Water Psychic, of course. No reason to really change that. We don't see a change in Slowbro. So ability, +2 special attack. Okay, you're already going to think that's a little bit broken, but it takes double damage from the next attack, and then -1 special attack at the end of the turn. So essentially, for one turn, you have +2 special attack. Going into the next turns, you have +1. You also take double damage from the next attack it takes. That doesn't mean the next attack this turn, kind of like what's it called? The one that Caliber uses, right? Glaive Rush. It's kind of like that, but this is any attack for the future. So even if you don't take an attack this turn, next turn you'll still take double damage from an attack. Now there will be ways to get around this if you're using some smart tactics. Maybe you quick attack yourself, or use feint on yourself or something like that to try to break that, so you're not taking that extra damage. But I thought it'd be pretty interesting. You get a big upside, glass cannony, and you have a huge downside. Going into stats, all I did was flip what was already on Slowbro, because Slowking is basically the opposite, except for their attack stats. So we have 95, 75, 80, 130, 180, and 30. So it's literally just flipped. In that +2 special attack, that could be some damage right there, especially if you could set up like Expanding Force, or you go into something like that. Now, what I am interested about these is because this is gonna be the first time megas are allowed with regional forms. Will the regional forms be able to mega? Probably not, I would assume, but who knows, right? Who knows? But yeah, that is number 5. Slowking. Let me know if that ability is broken, because I think it has a good downside, and then at the end of if you just double protect through it, no big deal, right? And it has to mega at the beginning of the turn, so if you're not faster, like let's say it's the first turn of the game, then you just take an attack that's double damage. So I thought it was good. All right, number 4 is we got Hippowdon. Hippowdon has been a Pokemon I wanted to be good for a long time, and it's just been like, eh. So now's the chance. It's going to stay ground type, of course. No reason to give it anything else. I thought about maybe giving it rock type too, so it gets a boost off of that sand, but we'll just keep it as ground. We got in the ability, since you set up the sand first, gives it Sand Force or an effect like Primal Kyogre or Groudon, but for sand. That could be really, really cool too, especially if you do get that rock type. Now you're getting a boost. Maybe it stops any snow from like ice attacks and stuff like that, which would be really cool and go with its typing. So there could be some really interesting mechanics that you could use with that. And I thought it wasn't too busted, especially if you don't have that rock typing. But the stat distribution, he already has 108 HP. We up his attack quite a bit to 162, so it's going to put out a lot of damage, though its move pool is kind of meh. But with Sand Force, this thing could be decimating things. 138 defense, so it's going to be super defensive, bulky. 68, and then 92 special defense, so special defense is still going to be in the mid-range. It's not bad. 92 is definitely not bad, very good, but it's definitely going to be weak in that area. That's why I thought maybe the sand, stops ice attacks from working, because then it really boosts you up. And then you can have like a different mega maybe that does the opposite, right? That does the snow. And then 47 speed, so it's going to still be really slow, and you're going to be able to take advantage of that. If another 10 was to go in, maybe it goes into the speed, just so it's not as viable under Trick Room as it is at 47 speed, which is such a weird stat anyway. Like, a lot of the Pokemon I picked, just going through, they have such weird stats. Like their stat distribution is just all over the place. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I think Capaudon could be decent like this. It's a Pokemon that often runs like Assault Vest, or I don't even know, because it doesn't really get used. It's just so weak. So this could be, you know, it coming into its own. All right, number 3 is going to be Go-Goats, and we give Go-Goat the ground. So now it's 4 times weak to something. But we're going to give it Grassy Surge, or Grassy Surge plus Grassy Seed, because it already has an effect called Grass Pelt that gives it a 50% defense boost while it's in grassy terrain. So I thought maybe you can combine these so it sets up the grassy terrain, and also it gets a 50% defensive buff, which, you know, is going to make it super physically bulky, but it'll be super weak to ice attacks, which is, you know, could just get absolutely one-shot. Though it does have a huge attack HP stat with 123. We give it a 130 attack, 102 defense, 57 special attack. So we took from the special attack and added to the attack. And then our special defense, we boosted up a lot to 101, and its speed all the way from, like, I think it's 68 to 108. So just balancing the Pokemon out a lot. We see a lot of distribution of stats in going into Megas, so I think it's fine to do that too. So I did it here. This makes Go-Go very, very good. It gets Grassy Glide. You know, it has Horn Leech. It can go for a lot of ground moves, but with Grassy Surge, Earthquake is, you know, lowered, so you're gonna have to balance there. It does get high horsepower, so he must be a horse. So, you know, it's really good in that, but it's still going to be weak special defensively. It has a lot of weaknesses. Ice is going to be a big one, like I said. So you're still going to be able to take this thing out with an Ice Beam. But, yeah, I think it can make Go-Go pretty good. And it's a Pokemon I've always wanted to use, but it's so bad. It's so bad. All right, and number 2, we got Dryalgi. I like this Pokemon a lot. I used it in singles back in the day, like, quite a bit. Like, I loved this Pokemon. And I thought it'd be interesting if it went from like, it's a water poison first, and then it goes to a poison dragon, and then goes up to like a poison fairy. Like, now it's a fairy type. It's like this, you know, floating, like, kind of, think of what Altaria did, right? It went into like this like incredible, like, looking like dragon, beautiful, like rainbows, everything, something similar like that. We could do. And we got the ability Misty Terrain, but also can poison through Misty Terrain. Just to give it a little bit of a oomph, you'll be able to do status conditions to your opponent, but they won't be able to do status conditions back. Misty Terrain is pretty good, but it's not really doing anything to boost you up, you know what I mean? It doesn't give you any attack boost, though it does lower your dragon type moves, so you'd have to work around that. I think giving this thing Moonblast would also be super, super useful to it, and something they could definitely do. It gets play rough right now, so giving it Moonblast probably not that big of a deal. Stats, it has such bad HP. I thought it had better HP than this, but it's only 65. 75 attack, 127 defense. You're going to give it to 117 special attack, 153 special defense, and 54 speed. I think the 10 could go into defense. If they allow HP to go up, which they didn't in the past, but no Pokemon really increased in HP that transformed, so that made sense. But now we do have that, right, with Terapagos. So maybe now they'll be able to do Megas with increasing HP. This would be a prime target for that if it can go up to 100 HP, you know, lower that special defense a little bit. It could be decent in that way. Take some of that attack, go into HP. Even if it's like another 20 HP, this Pokemon could be absolutely insane. Poisoning through Misty Terrain could be really, really cool. I would say it doesn't work on things like Toxic Spikes because it's not the Pokemon directly doing it. So that could keep it balanced too. But like going for Toxic onto, you know, something well in Misty Terrain could be a really cool like mechanic, and something I don't think will really be used. Like, this would be a pretty bad Mega to use when you can just use Mega Kangaskhan. But I think thematically it could just be pretty cool. So All right, and last but not least, and I think it's basically everybody's or a lot of people's at least, and that is Dragonite's Water Dragon is what I'm going to change this thing to. It gets a lot of water moves just on its own, and just like it's always near the water and everything like that. I think for ability, give it Levitate plus Adaptability. This will increase its damage on its attacks, but also it still has Levitate, so it's still flying around. It's a way to balance that out, so that way you're not losing, that flying type. Really, it still thematically fits. Stats: 91 HP, 174 attack. Like, this is going to be a huge attack stat. It's going to do a lot of damage, and it's not going to really have too many weaknesses, so you're going to have to be very, very careful. 115 defense, and then I didn't change the special attack or special defense, because I don't think they can rebalance. If they rebalance that special attack into something else, the Pokemon's going to be busted. And then we up the speed to 110. That's what we did. And we still have 10 left over to use. That would probably also go into the speed, making this Pokemon very fast, hit very, very hard. Maybe adaptability was a little bit too broken. I think maybe like Levitate plus, I don't even know. Something, Shell Armor, I don't know. Something like that could be cool. What you can do with this Pokemon, though, is you can run Inner Focus, so turn 1, you can't be faked out or intimidated. And then you'll be able to maybe do some damage, put some damage, go for a Dragon Dance or something. And then you'll be able to Mega into this, and then you're just so much bulkier. You have less weaknesses, like, you're just doing so much. And yeah, it could be a really cool and interesting Pokemon. And yeah, I think this is too strong. I think I made him way too strong, but it's for the fun, right? It's all for the fun. My favorite is out of these when I was making it is definitely the Dry Algae, because I think it's just such an interesting concept. But what do you guys think? Who do you guys want to see as Megas? Once again, I'm not letting any credibility into those leaked Mega evolutions or anything like that. Until we see something concrete and definitive, there ain't no leaks to me. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, make sure you guys thumbs it up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you guys do so. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.